California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free KMET live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. A huge shout out to our team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you, you know that. And to our great advisory committee, Bill Morris of UCI School of Business, Diane Cavallo, and Camila Rubio. Thank you all so much. And everyone listening, don't forget to check out the Jay Kaplan Show, also on KMET on Fridays at 3. And so everyone, today I have the distinct honor, pleasure, privilege of introducing a remarkable businessman and entrepreneur who will be talking about his philanthropic efforts on a macro and micro level in the communities that he serves to positively impact and supports that communities that he works in. So today, again, it is my distinct honor to be introducing Mr. Jeff Burum. Jeff Burum is the chairman of National Community Renaissance. In 1991, using his own resources, Mr. Burum co-founded National Community Resource in response to the need for affordable houses. That's National Community Renaissance, National Core, in response to the need for affordable housing in San Bernardino County. 5 years later, wanting to provide more than shelter to low-income families and seniors, he co-founded the Hope Through Housing Foundation to offer programs and services that transform the lives of residents. Today, National Core is one of the largest nonprofit affordable housing developers in the country. Burum is a longtime affordable housing advocate. Early in his career, he was one of 22 real estate professionals to be appointed by Congress to serve on the Millennial Housing Commission, whose mission was to make recommendations for federal housing policy to legislators. During his 30 years in development field, Burum established 3 successful real estate companies in addition to National Core and Hope Through Housing. The first is Diversified Pacific Communities, a builder of custom quality single home communities throughout Southern California. The second, Diversified Pacific Opportunity Fund, founded in 2008 in response to the market downturn and has raised more than $60 million in private capital to purchase and develop land and other real estate assets. And the third, Colonies Crossroads, a land investment group that has developed a 400-plus acre master planned community featuring more than 1,000 residential homes and more than 1 million square feet of commercial space, of which Burum is a managing partner. Burum is active in the community, serving on many nonprofits and for-profit boards, and previously served on the board of Pomona Valley Habitat for Humanity and AIG Sun America's Asset Management Company. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jeff.
Wow, that was a lot. Thank you, Yvette. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. So let's get started. We're talking about National Core. What is it? Why was it developed? And what is it here to do?
National Core came about from, I was a young developer trying to find my way in the world, if you will. And the slowdown began in the early 90s. I had thought I made enough money to live the rest of my life at that age. I don't know, I was 27, I think. And, had what I considered a pretty nice home, single family home, nice cars. So I thought when that downturn was down for 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years, I had saved enough money where I wanted to figure out how I could give back. I had gone to a recent high school reunion, candidly, of 10 years, and I was hearing all the great things some people had done in their lives. And, I kind of felt a little empty, frankly. Felt that I'd concentrated a lot on my career and building things and, frankly, making money. And I just felt compelled to try to find a way to give back. And lo and behold, the 1990 census had triggered something in me where I saw the need with a lot of migrant workers and the conditions they were living in. It triggered some memories of my own childhood. Listen, I never had conditions like the migrant workers. Those people were suffering and lived in shanty towns with, cardboard roofs. I just grew up, with a good mother that took care of the four kids the best she could. And at times it was a struggle, and sometimes you were hungry, you know. And so until that paycheck rolled around, and it was a good eating day in my house. And so I wanted to find a way to give back, Yvette. I wanted to find a way to use my skill sets that I had developed since graduating from college, instead of just going to a soup kitchen and using manual labor, which we all have the God given ability to do. But I wanted to see how I could pay dividends by trying to use my skill sets in a higher level.
And so, what is the birth of National Core? What did that look like? And talk about the programs that you have developed to impact these communities that you serve.
Well, my partner Andy Wright is a great human being, and what he and I found in common were that we were both raised by single moms, and we understood the challenges that single mothers had, both educating their children, keeping them out of trouble, and frankly, being around enough. So when we first envisioned creating this affordable housing company, we really started tailoring and making it around our own personal experiences of single moms. So a lot of the initial programs, developments we were pushing were for 2 or 3 bedroom apartments, so that moms could move in, stabilize their families by having a lesser rent. At those times, we literally could rent apartments for single moms for a family of 3 for like $200 a month.
Wow.
And so that gave them more money for food, gave more money for, clothing, more money at the holiday times, to be able to gift their kids and on their birthdays. And that was a really emotional appeal to my partner and I. So we started off with just, I figured out the angle in California as a developer to get grants, funding to do what we wanted to do in a nonprofit mission. And lo and behold, we created the first company that was the parent of National Community Renaissance, what it is today, was called Socal Housing. Mm-hmm. Socal Housing we created in 1991, and we started by acquiring at-risk buildings that were challenges. First building we did was 1993 in Rialto, California. It was a set of 4 boxes next to a railroad track where there were gangs and drugs, and people would burn down buildings if they didn't like what was going on in the community. And frankly, and then during the downturn, the banks just left the community, abandoned them, even though they still own them. They left them in the names of a lot of the other people. So they didn't want to take it back on their asset sheet, because they would create liabilities to these institutions. Mm. And so when we first got started, we had these great visions of creating these good-looking buildings with, daycare centers and training facilities for children. And we got started next to a railroad track with some 4 boxes because that's what the community needed.
Right.
And so that was how we kind of got started, and it's grown from there. As you've alluded to, we now have once we started providing housing to the families, we started trying to understand their needs in a current modern sense. Even though Andy and I felt we really had a good understanding for upbringing, we really brought in smarter people than us that were more educated on the social services component. And we started expanding into areas like daycare, like after school tutoring. We tried some youth sports initially on basketball and training. These days we do soccer, as you know. But we've tried a whole array. And now we have an entire foundation made up of a lot of great people that constantly every day find out what the needs of our residents are, the needs of Southern California, economically less fortunate groups. And we try to provide the services for them so that it augments not only a stable place, but kind of gives them a path, helps kind of give them, an upper hand, to assist them in their path in life.
Right. I completely agree. And I have to also chime in and just talk about the fact that watching one of your previous episodes, one of the things that you highlighted is the fact that a lot of these families that you're helping, are wonderful people. They're just one step shy of, it's a catastrophic event that has impacted them. It is a job loss. It is a sick child. It is something that took them off the path and required them to have and need that additional assistance. And the reason why that resonated with me is the fact that I grew up in a single family home for a long time. And it was because my mom became a young widow. She was very young when she was widowed. My father died when I was 8. My brother was 9 and 7. And, it was a very traumatic time. And when you talk about those days when you didn't have food or you were questioning whether or not you were going to have a place to sleep the next night, I can completely, relate to those conditions and to those fears and to those anxieties that those families must be going through. And so my wish for you is that this program, grow and grow, and you're able to serve all the families that need your assistance, but especially to convey the message that these are amazing families that are being served by an amazing program through National Core. And quite frankly, I wish there was a National Core around when I was growing up. I think it would have made life a lot easier, but for the fact, for divine intervention and a few miracles, that is pretty much the only reason why I'm here today. But Jeff, I know that you're doing amazing work in the community and you're giving families the opportunity to have that support that they need to get them to the next level, whether it's through education for their children, for tutoring, for, any specific subjects that they have trouble with. If, the kids are anything like my kids, it's usually math. But what are some of the programs you would say are the more popular programs in your communities?
Well, I mean, certainly the most popular for the last 18 months through the pandemic, we really mobilized our staff and started really assisting the seniors. The seniors were the most vulnerable population for the last 18 months. So you imagine being a senior that economically is disadvantaged, you don't have a car.
Right.
So, during this pandemic, it was a challenge to get them food, get them any of the necessities of life. And so, first thing we did is identify our populations in our areas that were in need. And then we tried to create a distribution center that we were able to, on a regular basis, make deliveries to the seniors, get them, both the food and clothing that they need, but, medicines. A lot of the seniors need their medicines. And so it was a real challenge, but our team mobilized and really came through for the last 18 months. That's certainly been the latest of the greatest things our team has done. We are currently, there's a new program that there's a lot of wonderful women in this valley. They used to have these auxiliaries that women used to come together on, and that have been successful over history. When powerful women and smart women and women get together, they generally can make things happen. So we've been fortunate here in the last 2-3 years. A group of them have come together with my partner's wife, Glenda, my wife, Kelly, a bunch of other folks in the valley that have been supporters, some of the females, Jill Van Valen and Alyssa on our staff. And they have now got a group of like 100 women, and they call themselves Women of Hope. And so, they basically said, we want to help, but you got to get out of our way. We're, we are strong, beautiful women, and we know how to do it ourselves. We don't need a bunch of you men showing us what to do, tell us what you want us to do. If you want us to help the kids and the seniors on the Hope and follow the Hope mission, we'll create our own subsidiary mission. And they've been focusing on children's literacy. They want to bring back old style, those libraries, those mobile libraries that they used to have.
Oh, I love that.
And they want to go into poorer communities in Southern California, go into these communities where National Core has residents based, and go in there and bring the books to the kids, get them gift cards, help raise money from a lot of these large purveyors, the book houses as well as the Amazons. Amazon has been a big supporter of ours, really helped us during the pandemic for the necessities for the seniors. So we go out, and we just lobby and get more money to match the donations from these powerful women and these smart women, these energetic women, and they go out and they make things happen. And so, Window of Hope's been one of the latest. It's been great. But I mean, through the history of the organization, there's been so many great things the staff has done over time. I mean, from dental to healthcare for the kids to immunizations for some of these children that never get immunized, and particularly in today's world. And we were doing immunizations before immunizations were popular. Because immunizations have always been popular, but
Right.
some segments of society have determined it's not necessary. Um, and so, we do English as second language. We help adults do resume writing. We help put them in a direction where they can get training. One of the biggest things that I'm excited about and really is part of my future and where we're going to spend a lot of time and effort. We're going to create what's called the Core Academy. And the Core Academy is going to blend. We're going to bring our corporate offices. We're going to build a corporate office. We're going to build a couple hundred apartment units around our corporate office. And then we're going to build a job training facility for both tradesmen and clerical property management folks. So we're going to teach people and our residents and anyone in the community, we're going to help teach them how to do bookkeeping for our properties, clerical filing for our properties. We're going to teach them maintenance, both from a landscaping perspective, as well as actually fixing, toilets, sinks, painting units and turnovers, reestablishing carpeting, air conditioning and heating systems. And we're doing it in a partnership with Chaffey College and hopefully a couple of the nice unions that are in the Valley to help create apprentice workers for them. And so, and we're going to be able to do it in our own lifetime scale in our apartment community that's adjacent to the training facility. So we're excited about it. We really think it's a necessity in this world today to have some hands-on experience with some of these young folks, some of these older folks, whomever it is that feels the need to, want to change careers. We want to help them find a way.
Right. And I love that you are using this opportunity to every opportunity available, and you and your team are actively seeking new ways to benefit the community, whether it's through, like you said, handing out books, immunizations, since the beginning of time, and now this academy. I mean, that is just absolutely remarkable. When is this academy? When are you looking to bring this online?
Well, we got our first help this last, I think, September. Assemblymember James Ramos gave us $1 million grant to help fund all the developmental plans. And over the next year, we're hoping to put it to paper, hope show the complete vision. We are in an RFP in the city of Rancho for a 13-acre site to locate it on, where we're showing the city the vision that we have. Hopefully, in the next year, we'll get chosen as the recipient of the RFP, get the land, and then it's about bunch of us donating and raising more money to get the buildings constructed. So I really have a hope and anticipation here in the next 4 or 5 years, the facility will be up and running, and it'll be something that we're proud of. That's providing more love and training and care in this valley than we did yesterday.
Oh my goodness, that is just absolutely inspiring. So, I'm going to have the rest of the year just so happy to know that you are bringing this online and all the amazing work that you're doing. In addition to, just a recent event you had at the Colonies. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
It's probably one of my favorite days of the year. I get a lot of favorite days, so I'm blessed in that regard.
Yes.
But I own my partners and I own a significant shopping center in our region. It's about 1 million square feet, and every year we used to, or in the early years, they used to do a program called Shop with the Cop that I used to donate money to. My partners used to donate money to, and it was support police officers doing a mentoring program with young people. And it was done by the San Bernardino County sheriffs. We loved it. It's a great program, but that started some 20 years ago, and as we started growing and started helping them, and all of a sudden we built our own shopping center, that what these police officers were doing was we would donate money, they would get gift cards to these children, and they would take the children shopping. And while they were shopping, there were rules to the shopping. They couldn't buy toy guns, for example. They had to buy a gift for everyone in their family before they could buy one for themselves. And it was really about an opportunity for the police to mentor a child and have the police officers looked at as a positive image, because sometimes in the less fortunate families, police officers aren't always looked at up as a symbol of good. And so we wanted to create that because that's what we believe. We believe 95% of police officers are good people. I also believe that there needs to be a new litmus test to make sure that you keep the bullies out of the police department, but 90% of them aren't.
Right.
And so, but I think that they're great people, and it gives them an opportunity to show it. So we were supporting them when we opened up our shopping center. I said, geez, instead of me donating money and having to go shop somewhere else, maybe I can get some of my tenants like Target and Kohl's and Dick's Sporting Goods to give discounts so the money could even go further. And so on set days. So we ended up negotiating with Target, Kohl's, and Dick's. Early on, it was Chick Sporting Goods, but now it's Dick's. We got them all to agree to do dedicated registers. And they would give us, up to 20-25% discounts. So if we gave a $300 gift card, the $300 gift card could turn into almost $400.
Right.
And so we started hosting an event in our shopping center. And it started the first year, I think, with 50 kids. And it grew up to as many as 250 kids in the pre-pandemic years. And so, and where we've had thousands of people at our shopping center, hundreds of volunteers. Unfortunately, during the pandemic this past year, we've had to modify it to be socially conscious about the issues and the children and the spread of the virus. So we did a drive-through the last 2 years where families can come pick up our gift card. We did a $350 gift card for about I think 125 families this year. In addition to that, Albertsons raised money and gifted them $350 gift cards. So that the families would have total $700. They have $350 for gifts under the tree, $350 for food for obviously not only the holiday, but $350 probably for the month,
Right.
And help. And we gave out almost 100 Christmas trees to everybody that wanted them with ornaments. So the real idea for us when we created it that everyone has really helped contribute to, and there's so many great organizations. This was originally my and my team's, small idea, but there's so many great people that have added and joined along the way that it would be remiss for me not to say this is truly a village helping now. The police officers from Upland and the fire department from Upland, the politicians from Upland, businesses from Upland, businesses from our shopping center that contribute. And so right now it's really a gift of an entire, holiday for a family. Before pre-pandemic, we were given, my good friends at Mark Christopher Chevrolet were given an entire car to a needing family. We were having, letters written, and we'd read the circumstance of the family, and and some of us would sit together. And I sat down with my kids. We'd read these heartbreaking letters, and we'd try to find the family that was in the most need. And the Legio family was generous enough to gift a car to them. So I'm looking forward to coming back next year. We can do that again when we can all gather in a place and share the holiday together and really see the smiling faces. But that's what the Holidays Holiday Miracle is all about.
Absolutely. Would absolutely love to do that. I live nearby and I drive through, and what you have done to decorate and bring the holiday joy to that area is just spectacular. I drive through there and I just see, holidays, Christmas lights everywhere, and I absolutely love it. So anyone listening, don't forget to stop by the Colonies. I love it. I go there all the time. But we're going to be going on a break soon. And before we go on a break, I want you to start thinking about, your philosophy and talking about how you want to express that with us, because this what it is that you're doing is just tremendous. It goes beyond, just a little bit of volunteering here or a few dollars there. It really encompasses a full view of the needs of a community. And so for that reason, I think it's something that I would like to, talk a little bit about more when we come back from the break. So for those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking to Mr. Jeff Burum, Chairman of National Core, talking about business and the importance of supporting our communities through philanthropic efforts. Everyone listening, stay tuned. We'll be right back. City of Hope is driven to making a difference in the lives of people with cancer and diabetes. We accomplish this by conducting innovative research and providing outstanding care. If you or a loved one has received a cancer diagnosis, go to cityofhope.org to learn more about how our innovative approach could change your outcome. Being sued and don't know who to turn to? The insurance company won't defend you and your family in a lawsuit? Stress no more. Call the Walker Law Group. We are the law on your side. Just call 909-989-3200. 909-989-3200.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily nonstop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs a blood transfusion. Be on the giving side. Livestream Blood Bank supports patients in 80 Southern California hospitals. Call 1-800-TRY-GIVING for more information and to set an appointment.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Welcome back. For those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking today to Mr. Jeff Burum, Chairman of National Core, talking about business and the importance of supporting our communities through philanthropic efforts. And before the break, we talked about hitting on the philosophy of your philanthropic efforts, and I am looking forward to diving into that. But first, let's talk about the Fury. They are an amazing local, talented indoor soccer team that plays out of the Toyota Arena. And you are the owner of the team. So tell us about it.
I've never guessed I would have got into the ownership of a professional sports team. But frankly, Yvette, it ties into what we just talked about. I kind of got into it for the community.
Right.
My family and I used to go to, back when it was Citizens Arena, when it first started, we had rented a suite and went up there with a lot of our friends and employees and family to watch different events. Well, one year, lo and behold, there's this indoor professional soccer team listed on there. So my kids both played soccer. My wife is a Latina. Her father, started teaching all of his grandchildren how to play soccer at early ages. So we all became, even I, as an American, fan of football and baseball and basketball, turned to soccer with our kids. And so when we went up to the arena that first season, we just fell in love with the Fury. I mean, honestly, it's fast paced. It's really it's so much more of an American sport that Americans just don't understand or see it. It's really played. I don't know if you Yvette, have you been to the games? Of course you have.
I have. I've been to several games, and I'm a soccer mom of 3. ASO has
That's right.
taken our lives for the past 10 years every weekend, and we love every moment of it. And I especially love the indoor soccer team because although it is a smaller field, it's so action-packed, and the players play the ball off the wall, so it never goes out of bounds, or it does, but briefly. But tell us more about it.
Yeah, so we started going as a family, fell in love with it because it's so fast paced. It's truly more physical than outdoor soccer, which appeals to my personality to watch these kids play. And you see, you know, um, just shots that you don't see in the outdoors very often. You see much more scissor kicks in the indoor game. You see, them taking shots off of boards because you play off the boards, and they run in lines like hockey, right? So they run literally 90-second sprinting, full time sprint. Then another line comes in and they go off the field. And so we fell in love with it. I was meeting with some folks at the end of the year. One of my dear friends, Chris Legio, again, Marcus for Chevrolet, was the main sponsor of the team. He was on the front of the jersey. So I'm having lunch with him, the person that ran the arena at the time. And they really, they gave me the bad news when I told them how much I loved the Fury. They said, well, it was going to fold. Because the previous owner didn't really have the financial back he was hoping. And so, we started talking about it, and I started realizing how I was going to break my children's heart. If I come home and tell my little boy and my daughter, back in those days when they were much younger, and my daughter at the time was literally 10 or something, and she loved the Fury players. She used to love going down the field and getting their autographs, and knew which every player and what numbers there were. I didn't know which numbers. I still don't know which numbers my players today, but she really loved it. And so I started thinking about, if my daughter feels like that, imagine all the other families that were coming to those games and how their kids were going to feel. And I started thinking about the joy we could create in the future if we even grew it more, and how much more love and joy we could create with these fans and these kids, to give them idols in their backyard that they could come see for $5 a ticket. It's cheaper than going to a movie. You can go to my game, cheaper than go to a movie these days. And so we really set out on a mission to save the team. I talked to another local businessman, Jimmy Previty, owns Frontier Homes. Jimmy's a dear personal friend. He supports a lot of stuff in the community. He says, Jeff, why don't you and I do it? So we did. Put up the money. We've been putting up the money for the last 6 or 7 years. Kept it alive. They now have Fury youth teams, with kids running around with our logo on them. We literally had over 1,000 kids come through soccer camps this past summer. We go around, and we've now partnered with National Corps to get more into the community, where we go around and do soccer camps on the properties for the kids, teach them how to play soccer, how to be good citizens. And if you get to know these players, Yvette, all these young players have a real story, and it's really interesting to learn about them as people.
I can only imagine, and I love that you have captured and seized the opportunity to create this engaging, just heroes for our local students. I know that they were engaged in programs that talked about, healthy eating, the importance of exercising, staying away from drugs and alcohol. And this was in their earlier days, and it was called Health's the Kick. I absolutely loved it, and I was very honored to be a very small part of it. But even then, the beginnings of the Fury were very invested in the community. And I love that you're keeping that alive, and that you're investing in our community again with your partner, Mr. Previty, to keep that excitement and that amazing resource for our youth alive. What are some of the important characteristics or, messages that the players talk about when they are interfacing, and talking with our youth in the region?
Well, Yvette, it's been my experience in life that all of us grow up, with the same heart. But some kids in early age, their brain teaches them to protect themselves, right? I mean, we're born into a world where we are designed for failure and sin. Forgive me for you, but we are. I mean, there's too many temptations around us. And a lot of these kids, go to the path of least resistance. So the message that these young soccer players, and frankly, I tried to instill into them so that they can instill into the kids, is you can do anything you want. You can play soccer, and be happy. But at the same time, where are you going to go next as the young player? And so what we try to teach these kids and our soccer players, or really the messengers, is that to these children is give them an opportunity to believe and to achieve what they want to achieve. Because every one of these kids never thought they'd play professional soccer. Right? I mean, you don't grow up at age 3 and say, I want to be a professional soccer player. You do, but you don't know necessarily you're going to believe it. And so these kids struggle. They don't get paid as well as the MLS. So these guys aren't making millions of dollars a year. Some of these kids literally in our league make as little as $200 a game, literally. And so it's important that they understand that they're fulfilling a life mission and a dream. And if they're getting up every day and happy with what they're doing, then they're succeeding in life. And so the message we try to instill in the kids is to do the right things, never give up, believe in themselves, and you can achieve anything in life. You can be a soccer player just like them. And so it's an inspiration that every community needs. And so I don't see it lost. We have a very large, Latin population, as you know, in the Inland Empire. It's so to lose, that population and that hero in their lives that they can touch and feel, 12, 15 times a year at the, Toyota Arena. I don't want to see that lost,
Right.
and if they can't afford a ticket, Yvette, I'll give them a ticket. So,
you heard that. If you can't afford a ticket, you're going to get a ticket. So there's no excuses.
Send me an email, jburum at diversifiedpacific.com. My assistant Lisa and I will make sure you get tickets to every game. I have vouchers on my desk. We print vouchers every day. So we can give out, we probably give out 200 to 500 tickets to every game, the people that need them and ask. And by the way, opening night, Yvette, is tomorrow night.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm going to be there, and it's going to be exciting because I didn't make it to any Fury games last year. I don't think there were any, but I'm so excited to go to this one and kick off the new year with you and the Fury.
Well, we're giving out more tickets than we ever have. This is, we have some great sponsors, Ford being one of them, that has partnered with us and said, it's been a tough couple years. Why don't we give every essential worker, whether that's a police officer, a fireman, a hospital worker, a construction worker, a trash hauler, a radio show host, anyone in the valley that believes they're an essential worker, we're not auditing. How many tickets do you need? How many family members do you have? Tell us. You get tickets to the game. We hope to have 5,000 people at the game tomorrow night, showing a good level of support for our local Fury boys. We're probably playing arguably what could be the best team in the league this year. It's an all-star team from Mexico. I refer to them as an all-star team because there's a few franchises down there and only one's playing this year. And so they've kind of signed all the best players from Mexico on one team, where we have, another dozen in the United States that we all got to share the talent in our small little country. So it's going to be an exciting game, and we're going to see. We're going to see. We lost in the finals last year. These kids are motivated to win this year. They've been working hard in the off season. We've got the best player in the league. For those of you that don't know, his name's Frank Tayu. He's a 4-time MVP in the league. We have the 2 best goalkeepers in the league. Last year's MVP, the year before, who used to be on our team and left for a year during the pandemic and has come back for his toe, Clayson DeLima. We have 4 of the 6 starting all-team first MASL team. So 6 players, like an NBA, you get the starting lineup. 4 of the 6 first teamers on our team. So we have a great team, and really needs the community support.
Absolutely. Well, you're absolutely in it to win it in every facet when you're talking about business, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, community engagement, and giving back to the community. Is just tremendous being able to watch all of this unfold. I'm very blessed to have a front seat to watch the magic that you and others like you, conduct within our community. But I especially love that you rescued our local heroes and you allowed them to stay in town so that our students can be a part and be led by these men on the field that know what it takes to win, right? Discipline, hard work, consistency, all of the things that we all need to know from day one to be successful, and that they're out there, doing these community events with students, I think is absolutely everything. And I love how they are so deeply engaged in the community. They're not just, distant people out on the field. They actually go out into the community. They're living, breathing, acting, being a part of the community that they serve. And that is just absolutely beautiful. And like I said, thank you. Thank you so much for creating that environment, for saving the fury, and for allowing that excitement, that engagement, and that local team to be a part of who we are today. And so they're going to be playing out of the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, and it's centrally located. It's right off the 10 freeway. The Ontario International Airport is right there. I mean, there's no reason why you can't get there. It's super, super convenient. Even entering the Toyota Arena is ultra streamlined. Literally, you go in, you park, you walk about 50 yards and you're there. And once you're in there, out of the 10,000 seats, because it is a more intimate, arena, there is not a bad seat in the house. You can see absolutely everything from everywhere, including the fully round, complete concourse that you can walk the entire, length of the arena and enjoy your favorite drink, your favorite food. And I believe you guys have a new brewery there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think they've been doing, Michael Krause and his team at SMG have been doing a great job managing that arena for a lot of years. And they're always looking for local breweries to come in. And so I think tomorrow night would be a great night for our environment. And frankly, win or lose, I'll get more out of tomorrow night than we ever put into giving in that organization these days. Just to watch the joy on the kids' face, because that game, I guarantee it'll be close. I just hope I have a smile on my face at the end of the night.
All right. Well, we're going to have a smile on our face at the end of the night, no matter what, because win or lose, what it is that you're doing in our region makes you a winner and everybody that benefits a winner. And I hope that others look to you for inspiration and ideas to become winners themselves. So this is the part where I want to talk about, your personal philosophy and why it is that you have found every opportunity basically to give back and reinvest in the communities that really need it and are deserving of it.
Well, Yvette, I think we all grow up with a sense of charity, right? I mean, it's instilled in all of us naturally. I had a single mom that really instilled in giving back and understanding. It's really that success is really not about absorbing it inside yourself. It's about how you act as you succeed. And and truly the definition of charity, I receive joy from it. I regularly, have to put myself in check to make sure that when I'm giving, and not getting, feeling better about it. I really have to put myself in check. I want to make sure what I'm giving, the other person's feeling good about it better than me. I don't want to, you don't want to humiliate them. You don't want to intimidate them. You don't want them to feel like they were needy and you had to give. It's a humility that that I regularly wrestle with in my life. So, I believe that I want to set an example for other business leaders and other folks that succeed in life? Absolutely. Do I believe that I'm the only one doing it and doing it right? I do, what I can on a daily basis. I constantly try to learn, but I really believe it's incumbent upon all of us, the gold in life, if you will, the currency that,
Right.
people strive for economic freedom. I mean, that's what we're really all about at the initial. I think everybody wants economic freedom. You don't want to be relying upon someone else. You don't want to be all charitable from someone else. So you compete in life and whatever it is that you do. And it's really about economic freedom. Once you get there, to me, it's about charity. It's about creating the economic freedom for the next guy.
Right.
because I got to the top of the hill. Now I want to help that other person up that hill with me. I want them to see what it's like. The view at the top of the hill, Yvette, is pretty darn nice. And the whole world should be at the top of that hill, looking
Right.
down and seeing what God created. And so I feel blessed, and I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly going to give back. But currency is like a spinning wheel, right? So when I make money, you can either put it in a chest and keep it for your retirement and your future, and then sometimes when you got enough, you can still build it and say, well, I can have a better retirement, I can have a better future, I can have this, and you keep hitting that chest, and you just keep growing the gold in the chest. Or you can say, you know what, God's blessed me, I'd like to keep a little more in my chest, so I add a little bit more every year, but at the same time, other people could use that little bit that I was going to put in the chest for myself to help their lives. And what the benefit they're going to get from my giving is so much more than I'm going to get for spending it on myself. It's crazy. And so I really believe it's incumbent upon all of us as human beings to understand it's not our meaning in life. I'm not going to have a meaningful life if all I do is try to make money and put it and put my name on buildings and give all my money to my children because I'm trying to show that my generations after generations I've succeeded. It's really about what I can teach my children, how to be responsible citizens and helping others and helping themselves. And so I think that's all of our jobs. Yvette, don't you think I know you as an individual.
I completely agree. And I have to say that's exactly why I have been involved in a lot of the efforts that I've been involved with. Obviously, I do not have the funds at my disposal, but I learned early on that even though you don't have the funds, sometimes just investing your time, your talents into a specific effort that supports a cause that is near and dear to your heart can go a very long way. And the reason why I learned that is only because of the fact that about a week before Thanksgiving in November of 1988, in a time when we didn't have food in the cupboards or in the refrigerator or anywhere, and we didn't know that we were going to have Thanksgiving, we had perfect strangers, and I'm sure they were part of a service group, come ring our doorbell and bring us a box with a turkey and canned goods that lasted us 6 months. And so that was the seed that was planted in me and taught me the importance of giving and remembering those in need. At a time when, I felt like I was in an abyss. My family, my mother, my brother, and I felt completely forgotten and destitute. And this spark of hope in the form of a box of food and a turkey for Thanksgiving just transformed me. And I know that that is a transformative effect that occurs in every person that is going to come in contact with these efforts that you are conducting in our communities. And whether if it's financial, community, having the connection with these players, having access to these programs to elevate the opportunities for parents and students through education and job training and apprenticeships. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It's inspiring. And I'm just so proud and thankful that I get to talk to you and watch what it is that you're doing from the front row.
Well, Yvette, you said, you don't have as much to give. And this is what, if I can leave a message to any of your listeners, and that is, it's not how much you give. You can never give too little, right? You can never give too little. And sometimes it's not money, it's your time. Sometimes it's your ear. Sometimes it's engaging with someone in a conversation you just bumped shoulders on the street, and you looked them in the eye and you saw that they were sad, and it's asking them why.
That's right.
It's not about the gold. It's about, being human, and it's about aiding your fellow man in any way you can. And it doesn't matter how much or how little you have. Charity is available in all of us. And so I happen, I get to go large. God's blessed me. and I'm going to go large. My rest of my life, whatever I can do to blow up this world, to make it a better place with the money that I'm blessed with, because I get lucky and God gives me ideas on businesses to create that actually make money versus just giving it away. I use it, and I'm going to use it as a vehicle to change the world. And I'm proud of that, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm proud of the difference I'm making. I'm proud of these young kids that are playing on that soccer field. I'm proud of my assistant that is running my Colonies Miracle these days, and I don't have to. I'm proud of the staff that was working with me for 20 years ago that volunteered there on Saturday. I'm proud of the people that still work at me in National Corps. The first employee I hired when I first took over the first building we bought 27 years ago, and he was a maintenance, a landscaper, and he's now the head of maintenance regionally in our system, and he's making 4 times or 5 times, 10 times as much. I don't know. I'm proud of those things. That's the difference we can make in the world. And at the end of the day, as I tell my daughter, and my daughter's name is Gabriella, and I have a wonderful dream for her, and I want to help her create it. But all you can do is hope, these young kids, they go into restroom stalls and, say, Johnny was here. I said, all you can do at the end of the day is have someone try to remember what you've done, so they can say Yvette Walker was here. And that's the difference you can make in the world. And when you've done that, then I say to you, we've made a difference.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that, Jeff. So we're wrapping up the time here. 1 hour is never enough. I'm going to have you back as many times as it takes to get this message out there and have it lock into our consciousness. So everyone who's listening today, look for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. And don't forget to download the free live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Don't miss my interview with Edward Ornelas Jr., the current president and CEO of the Inland Empire Regional Chamber of Commerce and an independent majority stakeholder of the newly acquired and revival of the Inland Empire Business Journal. He's a Los Angeles native. However, he likes to tell people that the Inland Empire adopted him in 2010 when moving to Fontana from Los Angeles. Having worked with many small businesses to enhance their brand, Edward has the experience, passion, and drive to succeed in any environment. A think outside the box attitude coupled with an unorthodox marketing approach is what sets him apart from the rest. Edward has the gift of creating, envisioning, and executing marketing strategies for businesses and nonprofit organizations. Having worked with clients across the private and public sectors, Edward is making a name for himself as a person who gets things done fast and effectively. Currently, Edward sits on the boards of American Red Cross, Inland Empire United Way, Inland Empire Tourism Council, Discover IE, California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and additionally, he is a newly appointed member of the California Inland Empire District Export Council, appointed by the United States Secretary of Commerce. Check it out. Next week, we will feature Kurt Hagman, who was elected and serves as San Bernardino County's 4th District in November of 2014 and was named Chairman of the Board of Supervisors in January of 2019. The 4th District includes the cities of Chino Hills, Montclair, Ontario, and the southern portion of Upland. It spans approximately 133 square miles and is home to over 400,000 residents. Supervisor Hagman has an extensive resume of public service prior to his election to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, including serving in Chino Hills as Parks and Recreation Commissioner, member of City Council, and mayor, and served 6 years in the California legislature. In January 2019, Hagman was elected by his fellow supervisors to serve as chairman of the board for a 2-year term. As a board of director of the Southern California Association of Governments Regional Council, he was selected as chairman of the Emerging Technologies Committee. The Emerging Technologies Committee researches and identifies new and emerging technologies that play an important role in the regional transportation plan and the sustainable communities strategy. A highlight for the supervisor has been his role in the successful transfer of returning Ontario International Airport to local control in 2016. Supervisor Hagman was able to reach across party lines, and you'll hear more about it when we have him next week. Everybody listening, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next week.
This has been the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker on KMET 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and ABC News Radio affiliate, a show dedicated to